No moment in Warriors history has ever felt quite this electric. A single trade rumor hovering on the horizon, threatening to rewrite the very DNA of the dynasty that defined an era, to shake the foundations of Dub Nation with a seismic jolt that could either rocket us back to the summit or rip us apart from within. Welcome back to Warriors News Fan Report, where raw truths collide with splash-era passion. Smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so your heart never misses a beat. Now, picture this. Golden State, a franchise forged in moments that burned themselves into the annals of NBA legend from the agonizing heartbreak of the 2016 Finals. With that unbelievable Game 7 collapse after the historic 73-9 regular season, to the poetic redemption of the 2022 title run where Curry, Thompson, and Green reminded the world what true championship DNA means, standing on the brink of yet another crossroads, staring down the possibility of a move that brings a young Aussie point guard named Josh Giddey into the Bay. If you haven't heard the whispers turning into roars, respect to NBA insider Jake Fisher, who broke the news that the Warriors are seriously weighing a trade for this 22-year-old phenom with a mind for the game that belies his age, a passer's finesse, and a knack for elevating everyone around him. This isn't just any player infusion. It's a potential pivot with reverberations felt not just on the hardwood, but echoing deep into the locker room and front office boardrooms alike. The catch? To pull off this giddy acquisition, the Warriors would almost certainly have to part ways with either Buddy Hield or Moses Moody, trades that would shock the roster's balance and impact the delicate chemistry Steve Kerr has painstakingly crafted over the years. And what about Brandon Podziemski, the rising young point guard who, since the All-Star break, has been staking a claim as a starting floor general and showing that hunger and skill that could secure him a long-term future in Golden State? Suddenly, his spot seems less guaranteed, shadowed by the arrival of this new talent who demands not just minutes, but a massive salary north of $20 million. A year of financial weighty gamble for a Warriors squad juggling the contracts of Curry, Seth Curry, and the recovery path of DeAnthony Melton, whose ACL injuries still hang like a heavy cloud over the team's depth chart. The front office faces a tangled puzzle: how to blend veteran savvy with raw upside, how to maintain a roster capable of grinding through the grueling regular season and then shining in the pressure cooker of the playoffs without breaking the bank or stalling the growth of their own talent pipeline. Does Golden State double down on proven greatness at the expense of untested promise, or place their chips on a young star who could be the flush that secures their long-term dynasty? Remember, this franchise is no stranger to bold moves. The very formation of the Curry-Thompson-Green core came from trades and signings that once seemed risky but ended up delivering a golden era. Before narrowing in on Giddey, the Warriors flirted with other marquee names like Damian Lillard and Bradley Beal, chasing that elusive upgrade at point guard that might push them from contenders to favorites again. Meanwhile, moves to bring in seasoned veterans like Malcolm Brogdon reflect an equal hunger for balance, a roster robust enough to weather injury, fatigue, and the relentless playoff gauntlet. But here's the part no one saw coming. This isn't just a numbers and talent chess match. It's a clash of futures, a story about identity. Brandon Podziemski, whose development has been a quiet highlight for this season, now faces a test that could either cage his progress or, conversely, ignite a reinvention. We're talking about confidence, contract visions, and the angst of competing not just on the court, but for a place in one of the most storied teams in basketball history. How will Kerr navigate this narrative? Will Steve's masterful coaching pivot once again to squeeze every ounce from evolving personalities and fresh faces? Can Giddey's cerebral playmaking mesh with Curry's relentless shooting and Thompson's ice-cold scoring? And will Draymond Green's intrepid leadership hold this evolving locker room together? The stakes are staggering. This trade could usher in a new playing style, faster, more dynamic, and unpredictably ruthless, breathing fresh life into a team that's chased championships, battled injuries, and fought through roster upheavals. Or it could unsettle the fragile equilibrium that's allowed Golden State to capture not just rings, but the hearts of millions. For fans, the question cuts deeper than wins and losses. Is this the blueprint for our next dynasty chapter, or the fracture that tears apart the soul of a team once deemed unbeatable? The layers of this story reach back to the very essence of what this franchise represents: resilience in a pulse that never quits beating for glory. As a lifelong Dub Nation believer, my pulse is racing just writing this, because I know that moments like these are the crucibles where legends are either forged or undone. The clock is ticking, the front office is weighing every whisper and number, and the whispers have begun to stir into a storm. What would you do if you held the reins, bet it all on Giddey's star potential, and make a bold, no-turning-back leap into the future, gambling that his youth, versatility, and untapped ceiling will fuse perfectly with the Warriors' DNA? Or would you stay the course with Podziemski and the comrades who've already shed blood, sweat, and tears alongside our living legends, the ones who know the system, the city, and the playoff firestorms like the back of their hands? Would you risk the comfort of chemistry for the thrill of potential greatness, or protect the foundation that's been built over years of battles won and lost? Because here's the thing: every move in Golden State right now is a double-edged sword. Bet on Giddey, and you could be unlocking the next chapter of pace, vision, and versatility that keeps Dub Nation ahead of the league's curve for another decade. But you could also be introducing a variable that disrupts the very balance Steph, Klay, and Dre have fought to maintain, risking cohesion for the promise of something untested. Hold tight to Podziemski and the familiar faces, and you keep the trust, the communication, the shared scars, but maybe you missed the window to reload for the inevitable day when the old guard hangs up their jerseys. This isn't just a trade proposal. It's a philosophical crossroads, the kind of decision that can define a franchise's legacy for years. We've seen it before. The gamble to move Monta Ellis for Bogut that transformed the team's defense. The leap to sign Kevin Durant that broke the league for 2 years. Even the decision to ride with the core through injury-plagued seasons instead of tearing it all down. Every one of those choices carried the same question hanging over us now. Do you chase the future or defend the present? And let's be real, this is Golden State. The moment you think you can predict the path, the front office drops a move that shifts the ground under your feet. The market is watching, the rivals are circling, and the fans are buzzing with theories that light up message boards at 3 a.m. Don't blink now, because this saga refuses to rest, and the next seismic move could come at any moment, reshaping the Bay's basketball landscape forever. The Warriors story is far from over. It's an epic still being written, each chapter bringing us closer to a new peak or a hard fall. Are you ready to ride this electric wave with me? Through every twist, every shock, every impossible shot and unexpected headline? Because whether you're all in on change or clinging to the core, one thing's certain: this ride is about to get wilder than we've seen in years. The air in the Chase Center just shifted like a storm about to break. You can almost hear the collective heartbeat of Dub Nation quicken, because the seismic moves whispering through the Golden State locker room could rewrite everything we thought we knew about this team's future. If you're as locked in as I am for Warriors News Fan Report, smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss a second of the drama from the Bay to the Chase Center. Picking up exactly where we left off, the fallout from the latest trade rumors isn't just a ripple in the calm waters. It's a tsunami coming for the very fabric of Golden State's championship DNA. The whispers that Klay Thompson might be on the move are no longer just that. These murmurs carry the weight of consequence, threatening to reshape the roster, the salary cap chessboard, and the very chemistry inside that locker room that has been the bedrock of 5 finals appearances in 8 years. Now, think about the impact this could have on the Warriors' leadership group. Klay isn't just Splash Brother 2.0. He's the glue, the defensive stalwart, the man whose silence often speaks louder than words in those locker room war rooms. Could his departure unravel that unspoken understanding that Steve Kerr has so carefully nurtured? Or will the opportunity to bring in a fresh piece with huge upside reignite that locker room spirit? And front office whispers are already swirling around the complex dance with the salary cap. Golden State has that luxury to either pivot hard, north with max-level star acquisition, or double down on their young assets and reshape the roster for a long-term rebuild that still carries championship blood. But here's the twist no one saw coming. The possibility that the Warriors could stitch together a blockbuster trade involving Klay that not only brings back a legitimate star, but also frees up enough salary to chase a Kevin Durant-level impact player in the next free agency cycle. Now that would be a paradigm shift we haven't seen since the Kevin Durant acquisition in 2016. Remember then, how that move blew the league apart and launched a dynasty. Could history dare repeat itself, and if so, how would the return of Durant's metagame winning level talent mix with Steph Curry's wizardry and Draymond Green's defensive maestro act? It's a tantalizing rocket fuel cocktail for Dub Nation's championship hopes, but it's not without real risk. The teamwork question lingers. Can Kerr blueprint a system around a new star without fracturing the delicate balance that's been battle-tested through injuries, playoff runs, and centuries of Warriors' greatness? Beyond the hardwood, the optics of Klay's potential trade send shockwaves into the fan base that's so fiercely loyal it borders on familial. Will fans rally behind the front office's gamble? Or will this fracture the soul of Dub Nation's identity, the one that thrived on Splash Brothers symbiosis and the iconic Klay mural etched in Chase Center's walls? And what about the locker room vibe with Andrew Wiggins? Already in a precarious spot climbing his own mountain of expectations, how does this upheaval position him as the heartbeat, the interim leader, or even the new face of the franchise? Listening closely, the rumors also hint that the Warriors might be eyeing one of the league's hottest young wings or a versatile big to complement their current core, a move that could have ripple effects far beyond the roster. The potential. Highs have echoes of the 2015 We Believe team's guts and underdog spirit, but this time backed by Curry's elite range and Draymond's defensive intensity. Could a retooled Warriors team entering the 2024-25 season reignite that fiery passion in a way that pushes them past the infrared zone of contention and back into the championship spotlight? But here's where the plot thickens golden. State's front office isn't just signing off on these plans quietly in the background. Sources claim Steve Kerr is heavily involved, crafting both the strategic and psychological narrative. He's known for being a master of managing egos, systems, and pressure. But in a moment like this, the question is whether Kerr can galvanize a locker room through such seismic change, or if we'll see cracks emerge that echo the heartbreak of the 73-9 season, where expectations crushed the team under the weight of its own ambitions. Then, there's the salary cap puzzle-shrewd maneuvering by the Warriors. Front office might not only open floor space, but also leverage mid-level exceptions or trade exceptions from past signings. What's fascinating here is the front offices. Historical savvy, they've turned pencil stroke deals into dynasty builders before. And the whispers around the Bay hint at a strategic move to create cap space while securing players that fit Kerr's high-octane, unselfish play style. Could this be a chess match with other NBA front offices, jockeying now as much for cap room and draft picks as for marquee names on the move? The ripple effects extend beyond Golden State, with a player like Klay suddenly entering the trade market. Every contender from Miami to Dallas to Philadelphia is said to be circling like sharks sensing blood in the water. How does this impact rivalries, and what does it mean for the balance of power in the Western Conference? Will the Warriors' bold gambit send a message across the league that Golden State isn't just a fading chapter, but a reloaded threat? And as we parse through the tactical layers, we have to ask, how will new pieces fit into Kerr's motion offense, or will their arrival spawn a need for a fundamental strategic pivot? Past experiments with small ball, like the devastating lineup shifts during the 2015 championship run, teach us that Kerr's adaptability is legendary, But will this new roster push its systems into uncharted territory? Could a fresh stars, a rival give the Warriors the homegrown magic of the 2022 championship, where unpredictable teams outplayed the odds with heart and precision? Or will it mimic the turbulence of the 2023 playoff exit, where disjointed rotations and mismatched roles spell disaster? This is a narrative swirling like a cyclone inside the Bay Area, and every time I dig into trade chatter, I feel the weight of what's at stake, because Golden State isn't just a team. It's a living story, stitched into the soul of this city and its fans. This moment, this ongoing drama, could either be the dawn of a new golden age or the beginning of an unraveling that tests the loyalty of every fan who ever believed in the Splash Brothers magic. And as we stand on the edge of whatever comes next for Dub Nation, I can't shake the question: are we witnessing the ignition of our next dynasty push, or the fracture that sends it all crashing down? Sound off in the comments, Dub Nation Isle. Be right there in the thick of it with you, riding every high and every heartbreak right here on Warriors News Fan Report. Personally, I believe this is the kind of crossroads every franchise dreams and fears to reach. The moves Golden State makes now could cement their era or shatter it. No matter what happens, you can count on me bringing you every electrifying twist every step of the way.